Welcome to Meet the Candidate 2022, and I am here today on Zoom with Julie Anderson, who is a candidate for Secretary of State, and I'm happy we were able to connect.
So Lani, thank you for having me on here. This is a terrific service to the public.
Well, it's an opportunity to get acquainted, and I always start by asking the very simple question of, tell me about where you grew up.
I grew up all over the place because I was raised in a military family, Air Force to be specific. So, boy, I was raised in 2 countries and 5 states, and I was born in a place that doesn't exist anymore, Chanute Air Force Base in Illinois.
My grandchildren have grown up with a military family, so I understand how that works.
Yeah.
So where did you actually eventually end up graduating from high school?
Another thing that doesn't exist, a high school diploma. I am actually a high school dropout. Ended up getting my GED at St. Martin's College and went on to regular 4-year college, liberal arts degree, and went on to get a Master's of Science degree in Criminal Justice Administration with a 4.0 grade point average, and was an employee of the dean.
Well, I've known other folks that have taken a non-traditional route out of high school. That can be commendable.
And Sulani, I'll tell you the funny story about that is when I was in high school, I didn't want to drop out. It's just high school was it just didn't feel very productive or meaningful to me. And so I tried to enroll in Running Start, which is a great program in Washington State. But at that time, it was still a new program and you needed the permission of your high school counselor to get in. And my high school counselor said, it's more important for your social development for you to remain in high school. So I did try to stick it out, but didn't work out that way. But everything ended up okay.
Yes, it sounds like it did. I also like to ask folks about, say, their first job, the first time you recognize that, the connection between effort and pay.
Oh, I'm glad you phrased it that way, because my first job didn't have a pay stub. I ended up working at a stable. So I was lucky enough, even in the military, to have a horse. And the way I paid for the horse and its boarding was by doing odd jobs at the stable. So think cleaning tack, mucking stalls, stripping stalls. Maybe some of your viewers know what stripping a stall means.
Yes.
and then exercising horses too. I also got into, much to my mother's chagrin, the entrepreneurial side of me, making horse treats. I made up a special healthy recipe that I would bake in the oven at home, and it involved molasses and oats, so you can imagine how bad they stunk. But they were wildly popular. I had them branded and everything, and I couldn't even make enough of them. And I think I finally got bored, and my poor mother, oh my goodness, the smell in the house.
Well, blessings on her patience for letting you exercise your entrepreneurial spirit. So you have had a lot of travel experience, and sometimes that's another thing that affects how we all see the world. What have you seen in your travels that you bring back to how you see the state of Washington?
Oh boy. Well, one of the places I lived was Australia, and went through their public school system, which is quite a bit different. They have a they have a corporal punishment system, which I got to experience on a few occasions. For frivolous things like refusing to spell aeroplane their way and insisting on spelling it as airplane the American way.
Well, as an Air Force brat, I can see where you would be wanting to insist on that.
Yes, I was pretty indignant about it. And maybe it was the attitude that resulted in the paddling, not so much the spelling disagreement. Let's see, how did that affect me here? Not so much. It's just I understand what different educational systems look like. And then also lived in the South quite a bit. So in terms of community profiles and demographics in the neighborhoods we lived in, I've pretty much seen it all.
Okay. Well, if you could tell us just a little bit about your life now, and then I'll give you the last question for the wrap up.
Okay. My life now is lovely. I'm privileged and thankful and having a lot of fun. I am wrapping up my time as Pierce County Auditor. So I've been Pierce County Auditor for over 12 years now, coming to the end of my term as I'm running as the nonpartisan candidate for Secretary of State. I live in the Tacoma area. I actually live in Tacoma. And with my husband, David. David is an architect. I've worked in government for a long time since he's known me. Part of our hobbies are I live in a historic home. So that's something that we've refurbished with a lot of time and energy. It's like living in an old boat. But I did manage to put the property on the historic landmarks list. And that's one of the things that I love, by the way, about the Secretary of State's office is part of the duties are to preserve the heritage and history in Washington State and to preserve documents and records. And so I'm passionate about that too.
Okay, well, that's the opportunity for the last question. Your 1 minute wrap up answering the question, why should people vote for Julie Anderson for Secretary of State?
Oh, that's easy, because I'm the only person that has practical experience in anything that the Secretary of State's office is responsible for. And I'm an elections official, nationally and state certified. I've supervised hundreds of elections. I'm also a certified public records officer and have experience with the preservation of recorded documents and document preservation, and importantly, making them accessible to the public. I also have a ton of enthusiasm, and I'm supported by over 30 of my fellow election officials. They are Republicans, they're Democrats, independents, and nonpartisans.
All right, that's a good summary, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today.
I look forward to talking with you again. Thanks, Lani, for this service.
All right.
From Chud Sr. to Dick Wendell, to Kristen and myself.
And now to our kids.
Our goal is to help people drive for generations.
From roll-up windows to power everything. From stick to automatic. From gas to electric.
No one can totally predict what technology is coming our way.
But I can guarantee we will be here before and after the sale, giving you the confidence for generations to come.
That's the Wendell way. Drive for generations.
Hey voters, join me, Kirk Cameron, on Saturday, September 24th with We Believe, We Vote at the Spokane Convention Center for a night of celebrating biblical citizenship.
Join We Believe We Vote for our annual fundraiser on Saturday, September 24th, 2022 with Kirk Cameron. For tickets and event information, please visit WeBelieveWeVote.com. That's WeBelieveWeVote.com. We'll see you there.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none from the time you call to the end of the project.